Then we get to Joe Biden on COVID. And this part is just galling. I'm sorry. Like, if you were galled at this point, buckle up, because there's much, much more. So Joe Biden starts talking about COVID-19. And this is so unbelievably irritating. He's just going to pretend the last 2 years didn't happen. He's just going to pretend that he didn't artificially extend the length of this pandemic by a year in terms of public policy. He's going to suggest that he solved the pandemic, which is nutso bazunkers. It's just crazy towns. Here he goes.
For more than 2 years, COVID has impacted every decision in our lives and the life of this nation. And I know you're tired, frustrated, and exhausted. That doesn't even count the close to 1 million people who sit at a dining room table or a kitchen table and look at an empty chair because they lost somebody. But I also know this. Because of the progress we've made, because of your resilience and the tools that we have been provided by this Congress, tonight I can say we're moving forward safely back to a more normal routines.
Yeah, everything is normal, guys. Norm, amanu, bam, sam, He's so bad at this. He's a terrible president. He's a worse speaker, and his policies are just a hot dumpster fire of flaming garbage, piled atop a landfill of flaming garbage, piled atop an entire planet made of flaming garbage, flying through an empty, cold universe toward a sun made of flaming garbage. My goodness, he is so bad at this. He's solving COVID, guys. He really is. He's solving COVID. Okay, so let's talk about Joe Biden solving COVID. So yesterday, he said that he wants schools open. Well, that's a change, you jackass. After letting Randy Weingarten make your educational policy for a full year and telling you that every kid needs to be triple masked, plastic bag around the head, duct tape around the neck in order to protect a bunch of 60-year-old triple vaxxed teachers from COVID, now Joe Biden wants the schools open. Welcome to the party, pal.
Our schools are open. Let's keep it that way. Our kids need to be in school. With 75% of adult Americans fully vaccinated and hospitalizations down by 77%, most Americans can remove their masks and stay in the classroom and move forward safely.
I like him reaching into his pocket. You know he's looking for the mask right there, right? He's looking for his mask so he can show you, I still have one, but we can remove it and bag-a-ding it. It's empty. That wasn't the most galling thing he said about COVID. Not the let's reopen the schools routine. 2 years late, because we never should have closed the schools and kids never should have been masked. Then he had the temerity to say to the American people, we have to come together over COVID. This guy who tried to get 83 million Americans in line, cudgeling every private sector employee into getting vaccinated. With the power of the federal government, he tried to do that. The president who said that the unvaccinated would experience a winter of suffering and death. The president of the United States, who essentially declared the unvaccinated the enemy in the United States and suggested that if you didn't want to mask your children, you were unpatriotic. The president of the United States, who said that if you said that people should go about their lives and lead their lives and make their own decisions, this made you complicit with the virus. This guy says it's time to come together in unity. Here is Captain Unity over here.
Let's use this moment to reset. So stop looking at COVID as a partisan dividing line. See it for what it is. A god-awful disease. Let's stop seeing each other as enemies and start seeing each other for who we are, fellow Americans. We can't change how divided we've been. It was a long time in coming. But we can change how to move forward on COVID-19 and other issues that we must face together.
Unity, guys. You're a bunch of racists. You're a bunch of sexists. You're a bunch of anti-trans bigots. You're a horrible person. But let's do unity over COVID-19. Also, if you're unvaccinated, then you're a terrible person who has prolonged the pandemic extensively. So let me just, I have one response to the President of the United States. It's right here in this box. Let's get together. Yeah, says the President of the United States, who has divided Americans over the course of the last year as much as any president of my lifetime. More in many ways, considering he came into office on a unity platform. Alrighty, then, so he goes right back to this, by the way. He says, let's unify. Also, Republicans oppose the right of black people to vote. What a wonderful dude.
The most fundamental right in America is the right to vote and have it counted. And look, it's under assault. In state after state, new laws have been passed not only suppress the vote, we've been there before, but to subvert the entire election. You can't let this happen.
Okay, Captain Unity, right after Unity time, he goes right back to they're trying to steal elections. And if they don't let me rewrite all the federal rules, this is because they're in league with the Confederacy and Jim Crow. What a wonderful unifying man he is. President Unity. My goodness. Who's got two thumbs and wants you to like and subscribe?